Just
Oh, I can't believe I said all that offensive stuff. Thank God it wasn't recorded because
I know, man.
wow, that
I know.
that would get me in hot water.
I that, that's what I'm
Whew.
saying. So,
Appreciate
it's
that.
only you, I, and Zuckerberg, only three, and Bezos that know about what we
Uh,
were talking about right
Holy
there. So,
Trinity, Fab Four.
the Fab Four. You
Yeah,
think that
man.
I'll learn how to? Okay, we're good. So today's guest, we got NYC's finest. We got Keith Mackler here. He's lived
Guy.
a very interesting life. So, Keith, did you get in trouble for smoking weed on the Daily Show?
That well, far from getting in trouble for it, it was actually encouraged or mandatory. And dude, this is such a crazy one, and it's something that I put in my acting reel and my bio because it was the first kind of big thing I did that really gave me perspective and just it was so cool. Like there was literally a Craigslist ad that said stoners wanted for national television show. So immediately signed up for that. And I show up at the thing and at a studio, and there's people rolling blunts. They said, bring your own. It's not legal, so I could say this anyway, but um, you know, bring whatever you want to churb on. And they had a whole craft service with like all stoner snacks and everything. And it was a great comedian, Wyatt Cenac, who was
hmm
a correspondent for Daily Show for a while and has done movies and stand up. He's an awesome guy, and I worked with him several times. And we were like a panel. It was during the time where they were saying Obama was, and what a wonderful time to remember the Obama years. I wish I was there right now, but he was a stoner in college in the
Oh yeah, yeah,
chain
yeah, for sure,
gang.
for sure. Yeah,
And
yeah, that
so
that's a known.
they,
You seen that picture, right? You seen that picture where in the black and
mm,
white? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
the
Obama got down.
infamous photo, yeah, that
I
I
was
would
at a party
basically.
with his daughter. So I was at a party in Martha's Vineyard, 2016, with Malia Obama. Who's the older one?
Is this safe for the air? Because I don't
Yeah,
want to
this
break
is
the
it.
internet.
They already know me. Yeah, this is safe. They already have me
Okay.
flagged, so they know me. But literally, so Malia Obama, she's really tall. I think she's like 6 feet tall,
I
but she
believe
was
it.
drunk and high out of her mind.
Mm.
But because of these people I was with, I didn't know them, but they got us to the party. They kicked us out. The Secret Service people. There's a bunch of all these huge guys wearing all black, or like
Fun
secret.
police.
Yeah, they got us. They kicked us. They kicked us out. But yeah, yeah. Sorry, that had to be said really
No,
quick.
so I right. So clearly it runs in the family and appreciation
Yeah,
for the devil's lettuce.
yeah, for
And
sure.
look, if I was Malia, I'd be getting effed up too. You know what I mean? Why not? And definitely that sounds legendary. Wish I was there. I was actually hiding in the bushes during that party with a highly powered telephoto lens, so I am completely familiar with that story.
hmm
Um, but so it was just this thing where they're interviewing stoners. They had a couple of High Times judges there, Cannabis Cup, a couple of actors, and actually my buddy, a rapper, Zion the Lion, was there, who's still at it, still making it happen. And we've done, it's a great memory. And then when the piece aired, I was really taken aback because I had improv some stuff. I remember it was one of my first experiences of kind of comedic improv, and I was trying too hard.
hmm
And at lunch, because it was an all-day shoot, the director basically said, "Hey Keith, we think you're really cool, but just you don't need to like try to be funny." He's like, "Just be yourself or something." And I was like, "Damn, this is the fucking director of The Daily Show talking to me, so pay attention, right?" And it was one of those
hmm
moments. I'm like, "Wow, okay, I need to change my approach to this." And when I came back, I was much more relaxed in the second half, and a lot of things just rolled off my tongue that they used in the edit. And it was like a lot of stuff I was saying, and it was getting laughs. And I'm watching it at home, and I'm hearing the canned laughter, but it's really a studio audience. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm making people laugh with funny things I did in a character.
hmm
Because it's just, I'm the purple shirted stoner named Keith. It's not like I'm not doing a bit really,
hmm
but it was a wonderful experience of realizing how to kind of loosen up and like go with it and read the room and
hmm
working with a guy like Wyatt that's so funny and kind of just figuring out my niche and how to just fit into it. And yeah, that was so much fun, man. I still get recognition for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. So were you on the stage? So were you on the stage? Where'd you smoke?
Mm.
Were you like in the crowd? Were you on the stage? Were you
So,
on
well,
the
it was a
couch?
pre-filmed piece. It was like a
Okay.
pre-taped piece. Yeah. So it took place. The filming was at, some kind of soundstage in Manhattan. And that was, yeah, although I've been to the show many times just as a fan, and I've
Hmm.
been in the audience and everything. My dream is to actually one day appear and be interviewed on the show because it's still great and
Hmm.
still going to this day. One of my favorites. So, yeah, man, just being associated with something like that, or like being a character in The Onion, it's just things like that it makes it seem more real.
Hmm.
I use that as a kind of a starting point, a jumping off point for my career. So,
Nice. And
yeah, man.
so how do you get in touch with them? Did you, oh yeah, I'm sorry. Wow. The Craigslist. So was there any party you were thinking
Yes,
that I might get
it's
killed? Like I
it's
might get like my organs harvested here or something.
right. Well, oh my God, dude, there are so many crazy
Uh-uh.
gigs from Craigslist, and I tell people it's gotten better recently though in the last 5 years or so because they really crack down on all the illicit stuff.
That's good.
But you're right. I mean, when I'm looking at a thing that just says stoners one, you don't know if you're going to show up, you're going to be arrested,
Right,
or you're
right.
going to, dude, you had the craziest parties. And like any, we agreed to the whole thing, and like I come out first with no shirt, and like let's fucking drink some beers, and then I come out in my boxers, and I'm like party, and then I came out fully nude. But I did music videos for Metallica and Nas that were off
Dude.
of Craigslist. I think
Really?
his Daily Show was. I did a Russian game show where I won bank for doing ridiculous things like piercing my nipple and eating bugs, and a lot of legit things too. Voiceovers for some Adult Swim pilots from an amazing guy that I met
Uh,
on Craigslist. Give it up to Nicholas Gentile. So you never know, man. I've gotten
uh,
one where it was a couple that said our fantasy is for us to make love while there's a dead body in the room, fully clothed. Will you just pretend to be dead? And I said, yes. But they
hey,
never
yeah,
got back to me. And then a year later, they wrote and said, "Oh, that was a social experiment we did to see if anyone would like agree to it." Uh,
yeah,
but
yeah. Sure, it was a Yeah, of course. They had no interest in that. Yeah,
right,
right.
sometimes it's just a joke or something. But when I am going to do a weird gig, like I did a thing where there was like, "Hey, we're having this ecstasy party. Everyone's going to be on ecstasy, and your job is just to go around and be like, dude, I love that necklace." Awesome, bro, or like whatever. And people will be like, yeah, just like be like the vibe, man. Oh, and they wanted me to dress up like a cop too,
Mm-hmm.
like a security guard outfit,
Mm-hmm.
but like with rainbow stuff and gold chains, and like like the party, like village people cop guy.
Okay.
Who knows, man? People have a vision, and I just want to help
Yeah.
them achieve it for cash. So,
That I think you should think about trademarking that. People have a vision, and I help it get
yeah.
it done with cash. Man, dude, there's a lot to cover. So, did the naked party, like where you show up naked, did that pay well?
Yeah, I mean, I won't tell tales out of school. It's
No,
like,
you don't have to give me
under
names. You don't have to.
500. It's under
Okay, all right,
500.
okay,
But like,
all
yeah.
right,
But
all right.
like, I don't like to kiss and tell,
Right,
but
no, no,
it's
no, for
not
sure.
like exorbitant amounts of money. But to be there for like a half hour,
Hmm.
yeah, and like, food and drink and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, and it's a cool thing because I'm sort of savvy at this point as far as being able to determine what's legit or not. Once you get someone's phone number, once you get their email,
Hmm.
you're really in touch with them and on that level. And with social media, you can kind of see who's who. And for something like that, where if there's even any air of sketchiness to it, or like
Hmm.
I'm gonna go do a photo shoot or just a modeling thing, or I'm gonna go film a little thing for a web series and it's just at somebody's apartment as opposed to
Hmm.
like at an actual
Right.
filming location. I always tell my boyfriend like, oh, here's where I'm gonna be today. Or I tell
Hmm.
my best friend like, hey, here's the address where I'm going to, just in
Hmm.
case like it's the last time I'm ever seen. Here's the apartment I was at, brother. So like,
Right.
try to
Right. Right.
just cross all the T's and dot the lowercase J's.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Wow. So you also strip down, speaking of stripping, you also strip down to your, wait, boxers or briefs? and the DraftKings.
Oh my God. Yeah,
How do you?
I didn't know this whole interview was going to be about my nudity, but
No, no, this is just there's just lot to
it's
unpack off of there.
well, look, sex sells. Okay.
It's true.
But it's funny because you think that someone like me who's, let's say, a chubby, kind of hairy, average guy, right?
Mm,
That we always think of exploitation of the body as being something exclusive to women or to
mm-hmm,
people that have a quote unquote good body or something,
mm-hmm,
and certainly it happens constantly. And I've seen the horror stories, and not and
mm-hmm.
ways that things are done right on sets with
Right.
coordinators and agreements and everything. But for someone who's basically a fat schlub, I have been asked so many times to disrobe somehow or just have my shirt off just because it's supposedly funny, but it's not to the point that it's tragic or you're like, oh my God, the
Right.
guy
Right.
has a real problem. You're like, hey, he's like a funny chubby guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I embrace it fully.
That's
And I
what's
go,
up.
look, if I want to make money or get publicity or have a fun gig and work with cool creative people and I have to kind of exploit myself, or I go, unless I disagree with the premise of the project or it's for something I don't stand for or politically or whatever, it's like it's all in good fun.
Mm-hmm,
And people have always been respectful. So a great example of that is the DraftKings
mm-hmm,
promo. It was like a TikTok thing that got so many millions of hits. It was this huge thing for a minute. It's like everything is it is a huge deal for like 30 seconds. Like this
mm-hmm.
thing I did, the elevator murder experiment, where it was a staged video and I was a guy taking a picture of someone getting strangled in an elevator and not helping. It was like for part of this
For
promotion of this movie.
DraftKings.
No, this is a
Oh, I was
different
gonna say,
thing.
I was like, damn, they're
Sorry,
going
that would be
dark.
a good
Yeah, I
crossover.
was like, yeah.
But like I was acute, like I had to go on TV and be interviewed. I was on the Situation Room with Wolf Blitzer. Like they outed me, and that was a huge thing for like 10 seconds. So, I'm always in these things where like it should have put me on the map, and
Right, for
someday
sure.
it will.
Yeah.
DraftKings was amazing because I was actually working with a good buddy of mine from a series called Skeleton Crew,
Mm-hmm.
which is created by the incredible Josh. His last name escapes me at the moment, but one of my favorite people. So I was working with a castmate from Skeleton Crew, and we were asked this, and another great gentleman too. We were asked to. It was for a thing called the Lucky Unders
Okay.
campaign.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I heard that one. Yeah.
and it was a series of photos and video. And we actually did some dialogue, which was just like off the cuff. It was cool. It was filmed at this house in Connecticut or Jersey. And
Mm-hmm.
we just went out there for the day, picked out some fun wardrobe because I think I had like the shades and some kind of like a business casual, like a sport jacket with the boxers and the loud
Mm-hmm.
sneakers. Yeah, we just had a ball just doing different stuff. Like, we're watching the game, we're throwing around cheese balls and eating pizza, and somehow they're all capturing this in different media. And yeah, that was something that was I've never done makeup on my legs before. They said, "Oh, your legs look a little
I didn't know
pale.
that
We
was a
need
thing.
to yeah,
I didn't know that was a thing.
it's a little of the body butter, on there."
Okay.
But yeah, that was a sweet gig, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's a gift that keeps on giving in the sense that these things live on forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's only in the public eye or popular briefly, it's like you'll always have it,
For sure.
and it's kind of one of the. I was trying to explain this to somebody. It's like when you do acting, unless you like are on a series perpetually
Mm-hmm.
and you're like the guy from that thing, it's like you have to cobble together your greatest hits album like every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's like why bands go out and play
Yeah.
songs from 1975 and like here's a couple new ones, and then everyone
Yeah.
goes to the bathroom during that.
That can be
Like,
but that could
yeah,
be a blessing and a curse too.
right.
Because think of like
Yeah.
you're on Grey's Anatomy, and I think it's Ellen Pompeo. She's been
Mhm.
playing the same character since 2005. So it's almost
Right.
like be careful what you wish for. It's like the first 5 seasons, but then I got to do 20 seasons of this, and it's kind of like I have to stay the same age, and it's just like be careful what you wish for in that sense, man. I couldn't imagine.
You get pigeonholed for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look at something like The Simpsons. I mean, the
Hmm.
people, they don't even sound like them anymore.
No, no, it's been
You
since
know?
'88. They've been on since
Yeah. I
'88, which
mean,
is crazy.
right. Literally almost as long as I've been alive, that show's been on the friggin' air. So
That's insane.
wow, man.
Yeah, Family Guys. Family Guy's been like '99. I think
Yeah.
South Park was '97.
Yup.
So I'm like, yeah, it's been yeah, it's been a lot of changes.
Mm.
How was your time on Real Time with Bill Maher?
Well, I didn't get to appear on the show,
Hmm.
but it was there was this thing called Hikea that
Hmm.
was a another viral video thing. I mean, if you literally Google Hikea, there's
Hmm.
only 2 episodes. And it was the concept was not only do I take my clothes off on camera all the time, I also do drugs on camera all the time.
Hmm.
So this was a concept from some producers from California. They said we tried to do this with other people and they kind of bummed out and we didn't really get good footage, but we still want to try it.
Hmm.
We want you to take 3 or 4 grams of mushrooms, of psilocybin mushroom, and then put together IKEA furniture. Okay, which first of all, doing that is impossible. Even stone sober,
Yeah, yeah, I
which
know.
I made that point during it. And so this is at my old apartment uptown. This is a while ago, but I had a couple of supporters there, because I knew it was going to be a
Mhm.
long night. And they came. It was really cool. They brought some weed and there's mushrooms, obviously, and we were just like we ordered food and we are just having. It was a cool vibe,
Mhm.
and it kicks in gradually. I had to rely on first of all my experience doing psychedelics, which I hadn't done for 10 years
Oof.
before that, and I haven't
Mhm.
only done it a couple times since because it's a lot, man.
Right, right.
You really got to be in a good place emotionally and feel okay about yourself at the moment.
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's just going to expose every insecurity and flaw and anxiety that you have. So, I have to encourage people to tread lightly with that shit. Um, but it was good because I knew that I was, first of all, I was getting paid. I'm working now, and so that you're able to compartmentalize it. And I go, I can rely on my abilities as a performer because I know that this needs to be a funny video, but I
Mhm.
don't want to overdo it. It's kind of like the Daily Show. I don't want to be a character where I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
they even had some lines for me, like some pre-written stuff that they wanted me to say, and I was like, no,
No.
this is it. I want it to be authentic, and they were amazing guys,
Mhm.
and a great team to work with. But I had to do my own thing basically, and I think it came out really good. Really proud of it. And then it got so much attention, just all these media reviewing it and mentioning it, and the other two people that did the second episode, which or my friends Giancarlo and Nikki, and they so there are only 2 episodes. The first one is with me. The other one's with people I personally recommended to them who are good friends of mine that I trusted. And that's all they so I basically consider myself the co-creator of the shit, although I give full credit,
Wow.
obviously. Their brilliant idea. I'm just really
Yeah,
glad I
that's
was able
insane.
to make it happen. So that got featured on Real Time. And it was such a thrill for me because I'm watching that show and up comes the still, and he's like, it's like the new rules, like new rule,
Yeah.
don't get high and try to build IKEA furniture or whatever. So
Yeah.
wow. So now you feel like you're kind of a witness to history, but you're kind of part of history in a
Mhm.
minuscule way. Because I worship actors who are like obscure people that are in
Mhm.
a couple of movies from 1970 and they say one odd line and you go and you're repeating it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just to be indelible in some way, uh the IKEA thing's another good example of that because it's like I'm meeting them halfway. Like they come with
Mhm.
a great concept, but then like what you see on camera is my personality, it's my experience, it's my humor. So yeah, it was a heavy lift, but it's one of my favorite projects ever, man.
It's genius. It's funny. A coworker of mine the other day was he was talking about how it took him a whole day to put together a small, like a little IKEA shelf. So I
Yeah.
can imagine that under mushrooms, under the influence of mushrooms, what that must have been like.
I'll tell you
Um,
a tiny funny story about is
yeah, good.
during the filming, I go and they used it, and I hold up the instructions. I go, "This is a book of lies," or whatever. And so I'm working on this show, an Apple TV series starring Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, and I forget an amazing actress too that I love. And this guy, this cameraman, I'm doing background on the show, by the way, which is a great day job, and I can
Hmm.
talk about it, where you're basically an extra on stuff. And I still do occasionally. I worked on the
Hmm.
Backstreet Boys
What? Wow,
Super Bowl
crazy.
commercial that's going to air today. I
Great.
was
Shout out
just
to
like
you.
the audience for it, but it's cool to be there. It's like fun,
Shout out to
you
you.
get paid. So, uh, anyway, I'm on this Octavia Spencer and Aaron Paul show, and the camera guy goes, "Hey, are you the IKEA guy?" Yes, sir. That is me. I'm proud to say that I have the dubious honor of being the IKEA guy. And he goes, check this out. He picks up this binder where they keep the different lenses. And I don't know if you're familiar with these with filming shit, but they switch to a different lens for a different depth of
Hmm.
field, or different shots require different lenses. So they have a binder of lenses, and he goes on the book of lens on the front of the lens thing with a piece of tape is written "Book of Lies." He goes, "This is the binder of lenses that we're shooting
Wow.
this TV show on. We call it the Book of Lies because of your video that me and my camera buddy." I go, and you're not supposed to like talk to the crew when you're like an extra
Right,
and
right.
shit. And he's coming up to me. He's like, "Can I take a picture with you? Like, I want to show."
That is
Like, yeah,
insane.
it happens to me sometimes. Like, from the Sean Price Rap Academy video. People have
Hmm.
stopped me in the street. Are you the underdog? They're like, dude, no one's gonna fucking believe I met you. Like, oh my God, because of being associated with an amazing person like Sean Price. But
That's
it's
crazy.
humbling, man.
Did that have anything to do with Viceland interviewing you in your bedroom? Like, how did that come? How did that come along?
Dude, yes, that was so there was a show called Gaycation,
Hmm.
Gaycation, something like that. This is with my ex, Fran, who I only could speak well of, and
Sure.
they broke a lot of ground with casting for shows for non-binary people. She did
Hmm.
this big commercial for Uber where she flew to California, got fitted for a Gautier gown, and they did this video. I mean, it's unbelievable. She's a scientist, really, but moonlighting as an actor and model. And we had been approached by Immigration Equality, an incredible organization here in New York. And me and my partner now march with them every year at Pride. And they're incredible what they have done for people seeking asylum. And Elliot Page, who at the time was known as Ellen Page before he transitioned, came to our house with a co-host and a very small crew, and we filmed an interview about Fran's life story
Hmm.
coming from the Caribbean, and then about how I fit
Wow.
into it and
Yeah.
my work with her as not only her boyfriend, but also like managing her career basically.
Hmm.
So I got to hang out with Elliot Page, and we went to dinner with them, and it was a whole day thing, and we took pictures, and yeah, so that's another brush with greatness, man, because I'm a fan of his from back when he was known as Ellen Page on Trailer Park Boys, one of my
Wow.
favorite shows, and all kinds of great movies, and what a great performer. And if you see the movie that he made after his transition and comeback to filmmaking,
Hmm.
is an awesome movie, which is basically his a version of his story, and really, I can't wait to see what he does now. Just getting roles that are just a male role,
Hmm.
because you got to come back and do a movie that's about a
Right.
trans story. But then I just want to see him in fucking movie. Just like you ever see Peter Dinklage in a movie where they don't even mention that he's a little person? Like he's just like the crime boss who's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
walk
yeah, yeah,
around, and you're like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
like because
yeah,
it's just,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like I
yeah.
enjoy stuff like that where
Hmm.
we can put interesting people in roles, and but they don't have to feel like the whole spotlight is on their personal identity. They can
Right.
act, which is
Right.
what
Yeah.
actors
Yeah, I
want to
agree.
do.
Yeah. Right.
So anyway,
Don't just make like it's like this person, like everyone sees it, but this person's also like a really good, this like also like, hey, he's a really good actor too.
yeah,
That's not what this
he's an
super does.
actor,
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So I
No,
think
I
that stuff like that's happening.
That's awesome. It's funny now that we mentioned Viceland. I think maybe one of the reasons I started this podcast, and I'm kind of thinking of it maybe unconsciously. There was a show called Hate Thy Neighbor. I don't know if you ever saw it on
Hmm.
Viceland. And
Oh
there's
yeah,
this
I've heard of that.
British guy named Jamali. I'm probably going to get comments about how I look like the guy, but just I don't always stick with me. He would go all around the country to like kind of like extreme fringe groups. This is
Mhm.
maybe about 10 years ago. And it was just really interesting. And I was like, I'd like to just interview. Like he went like anywhere and everywhere. It was just, it's not on, I don't think it's still on
Mhm.
now, but since we're talking to Viceland, shout
Yeah,
out to
they've done
Viceland.
so many great documentaries, and I really
Yeah.
admire people like that who do that kind of intrepid,
Mm-hmm.
journalism. I mean, or like, Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the
Oh, yeah.
balls of this
Yes.
guy, and he
Shout
did
out
a
to him, man.
series too that's very underrated where he's going around the country and Jeff Ross, the great
Yeah.
comedian and roast master. I mean,
Did he
he
roast
has a
you?
journalism degree, and he's done these. You ever see like Jeff Ross roast cops, roast
Mm-hmm.
prisoners, roast the
Oh,
border?
yeah, yeah.
He's going
Yeah.
and he's cracking on people in the eye, and I mean they're eating it up, loving it, and they're being treated like human beings, but it's
Right.
also like he's just he's not afraid. He's showing what's really going on without a narrative. Like he's like, no, I actually want to go see what the fuck's happening
Mm-hmm.
instead of relying on because one of my heroes, Henry Rollins, says knowledge without mileage is bullshit. And Henry is someone I always looked up to because he would read a book about Iran, but then he'd go there to see, all right, is this true?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
to, I don't know, hundreds of countries. Are there hundreds of countries? But whatever, he's been to,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure there are.
Something like that. Yeah.
We'll
Sounds
fact
correct.
check that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get that
But,
checked.
the people like that, I don't do that in terms of physically going places because I've
Mm-hmm.
kind of been limited to working in this country, a little bit up north, Canada, and stuff like that. But I've gone all around the country for work. But as far as making those journeys, I try to do it within myself too. So like
Mm-hmm.
taking on different roles, different things that are outside of my wheelhouse. I love things that are in my wheelhouse too, because it's like, yeah, that's the comfortable spot. But I also like doing a lot of outside of the box
Mm-hmm.
things. And for me, that's a way to exercise, to try and stay limber, especially because like January, February is tough.
Seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that and just like not as many things because a lot of productions don't book stuff. Oh, we were going to go film in New York in the dead of January and February, so production schedules, not as much is going on. So
Yeah.
now it's more focused on like trying to book out stuff for the spring.
For sure. No, I think that no, especially in the Northeast, man. Around this
Mhm.
time, given the past couple of weeks, it's been cold as heck. The snow. Um, it's just a slow. I always say that summer is great. I enjoy summer. I enjoy fall. I enjoy spring. But I think winter can be a little bit like a cold shower. It's very sobering. It can be bleak at times, but it's very there's no, once the holiday season stops, whatever you celebrate or don't, there's a
Mhm.
little bit of cheer because it's like it's festive, but once it's like all the lights go down and it's not New Year's and it's just cold and you can't really go anywhere, there's not really much to do. It's like, man, you just kind of, left cooped up a little bit. So it gets real in January and February.
Brutal records. And there would be great hosts who would everyone would I saw Ice Cube there, I saw Cheech there, I saw guitar player from Korn there, I saw Mark Maron, Artie Lang, Gilbert Gottfried.
Wow.
I mean, just goes on and on. Sophia Coppola, everyone in the world. So friggin' Jeff Ross was getting interviewed. So I just wanted to ask a question from the audience, A, so I could get more screen time
Mm-hmm.
because they run these on different cable
Yeah.
channels and internet. So like, if you could roast anyone through history, who would you roast? And he said, you. And I
Oh,
was wearing like this green and blue striped hoodie with like a baseball cap. He said, "You look like the umpire on Katy Perry's softball team."
uh, uh,
It was such an honor. I said, "Thank
wow.
you so much." And then I went and saw a rehearsal version from some industry connection. Uh, a his Broadway show, Take a Banana for the Ride,
Mhm.
which just blew up Broadway, did so well. And it's such an incredible show. And I saw like a rehearsal version of it at this rehearsal studio. And in it, he's interacting with the audience because we were like right there. There's like no stage. It's like a workshop performance.
Mhm.
So he was kind of talking to the audience more than he would at a regular show. But he was like, I'm gonna roast some of you assholes or whatever. So this guy, and then he looks at me and he goes, all I can say is, you look like a gay umpire. What is it that? And I said, and then I went up to him after. I said, Jeff, I said, this is the second time you roasted me, and both times you said I look like a fruity umpire. I said, I don't know what. And then he gave me a banana because it's take a banana for the ride, and he hands out bananas to
Okay.
the audience. So he gave me a banana, gave my friend Brian a banana, and we brought them home. We said the Jeff Ross bananas, and we ate them. Because what are you gonna
No,
do? Frame a banana?
no, I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
man, he's a powerhouse, though.
No, for sure. What was it like being around Ice T? And when I say
Yeah,
Ice T, for the people who don't know, I'm not talking about the actual drink. We're talking
right.
about former rapper Ice T, who's now plays a cop on
Delicious
a
beverage.
TV show. So, what was he like? Did get a chance to really interact with him, or not really?
Ice-T is so cool. I've interacted with him on a few occasions. So I did
Okay.
a show during the pandemic with my friend Hassan, who's
Mhm.
also an actor as well, and we were depicting a scenario in which we were roommates and we were arguing about the fact that I kept a very sloppy room and it was, impinging on his ability to live properly. And I was punching holes in the wall because I'm angry and crazy and whatever. So he was in New York on a Zoom call, and I'm in Vermont. And but we made it work and everything. And I'm not going to say that any kind of these judge shows or talk shows like going back from Jerry Springer to Steve
Yeah.
Wilkos to whoever.
Steve
I'm not saying
Wilkos.
that
Steve
Steve. I'm not
Wilkos.
saying also if you watch that show, you'll see
Mhm.
me in the audience mad times because they pay people to do that. But
Oh
like
yeah.
I've gotten people have sent me collages of me in different team audiences, and it's always like the guy's a child molester, and I'm like, mm-mm. Like
Yeah.
whatever. And then the ones with like, you're not the daddy, like ah. So it's like the many moods of Steve. But anyway, I'm not saying that those shows are fabricated or anything, but sometimes they get people who are performers that depict real life
Mhm.
scenarios,
Yeah.
but they're just gonna get better juice out of you on screen.
Yeah. For sure.
And if a lot of people that are, not involved in any performing, maybe a little stiff and stilted, maybe. So it's like that was so great, and I got to drop these different lines, and I'm a big Ice-T fan, so I met him a couple of times working on SVU.
Okay.
So SVU is a show that I've been an extra on many times. I never got to be the corpse of the week. I was on Elementary. I was Errol White, a very highfalutin hacker who
Hmm.
gets stabbed 3 times with a katana blade. And Sherlock Holmes is trying to figure out what happened. The one show my mom never wants to see
Oh.
because I'm like literally with the stab wound. But on SVU, I was a child murder suspect.
Oh.
So I mean, it's like it's stuff that is not really acting, but it's just fun, and you could tell people, hey,
Hmm.
watch SVU tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep an
Yeah.
eye open because they're showing the little girl in the hospital bed on the iPad. Who attacked you, sweetheart? And it's like, was it him? And it's me. She's like, no. Was it him? Yes. So it's just like a bunch of guys that look like my type.
Hmm.
So they
Right.
use my photo in that. You just go into the hallway of the production office, they're like, click, click. All right, cool. You're good to go. And you get paid for the day.
Okay.
And Ice-T is there, and you're like eating breakfast and everything. And these colossal you know, breakfast buffets. And he goes up and says, or it was maybe it was lunch because he's like, "Hey man, is that blue cheese or ranch?"
I could see him say. I could
And I'm
see.
like, "Ah, that's just some weak blue cheese ice." He goes, "Fuck." And he like threw the carrot away. It's like,
I
so
could see him
yeah,
saying. I
he's
could see
always
him saying
really
that.
nice. I mean, there's a
I could
lot of
see him.
people that get a reputation that they're cool or they're dicks.
Mhm.
He's one of the cool ones.
Nice.
And also, and Tracy Morgan is probably the greatest, just as
Trey,
far
yes,
as
right.
the warmth and the enthusiasm and stuff. And he literally stops the set to be like, "Hold up, I love everybody here.
I could see it too.
Continue." Like he just literally just wants to like spread, So when you
Mhm.
work with people like that, or you see the way that they act on a set.
Right.
That like a guy like Charlie Cox that plays Daredevil, he'll just
Hmm.
come hang out and talk, fucking chew the fads, telling stories. A great guy who just passed away, Peter Green,
Hmm.
who played Zed in Pulp Fiction, and I worked
Oh
on a
wow.
show for a couple of weeks called For Life that 50 Cent produced, and I had literally to get tattoos that said White Power, swastika, like type of shit, which I'm not into.
No.
But there were guys that were, but it's a job. And
Hmm.
there were guys, and who doesn't want to be a villain or whatever. So there's guys on the set though that they're like, all right, we're gonna get all that crap off your head. And some dude's like, no, that's cool. I'm just gonna rock it. Like
Just rock
I was
it.
like, no, I'll just rip the skin off your
Hey.
fucking head. Like it's all good.
Uh,
But anyway, the guy Peter Green, he didn't tell me anything about acting, but you watch him work, and it's like he'll just be talking to you like, "Oh yeah, what was that brand of dog food you mentioned? Oh, I'm gonna check that out." And then like, actually, he's
mhm.
like, "Hold on, I'll be right back." And then he goes up to the guy, "You got a fucking problem with me?" Like he goes into the scene, but he doesn't become the character. He just lets the character become him. He doesn't
Mhm.
like they don't go like rolling, and he's like, "All right, shut up, everybody. I gotta get in the, I gotta get in
Right.
the zone." He's just like, "Oh, pardon me for 1 second. You got a problem with me, Mendoza?" Like I'm just like,
Yeah.
"What?" Like he doesn't even transition, and so uh, when you work around that caliber of people, like as a way to get pocket money,
Hmm.
when it's your turn to like step up and act,
Right.
you can't bullshit.
For
Because
sure.
I've watched how it's done, man. I was like
Yeah.
watched like Jessica Biel's like do a complete mental breakdown in a courtroom like 10 times in a row and like cut. And she's just like, okay, let's go again. Like, she's not
Yeah.
gonna go in the trailer for 3 hours and bitch and moan. They're like, let's do it. And
Hmm.
that's what it's all about. So I've been inspired by both musicians, actors, just creative people to like show up, give them what they want, and then give them a little extra too, if they want.
Nice. Nice. What
See how
was
I made
the
it about me again?
yeah?
It just
What was
always dovetails right back to the actor shit,
yeah?
to
What
the
was your name
colossal
of
egos. Oh my God.
what was your name of the character you played? It was Errol what?
Errol White. Errol White.
That is a
Uh,
black. That's a black man if I've ever Errol Wise. I don't.
Errol.
That's,
Right.
they named you Errol Wise. I don't. I'm like whoever came up with it, cool. But there's some names I'm like I mean it could be, but I'm like
Yeah.
that's that's
Well,
a that's a 65-year-old black man right there,
Errol
Errol White.
White. Yeah, maybe
But
so.
what do I know?
Yeah, and I mean, and I'll play that role too.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever's called for, I'm there.
yeah.
I'm
What are
trying
your
to think
plans?
of.
I'm sorry. What are your plans for 2026?
Well, geez. So I'm now currently promoting
Hmm.
my role of Strings McCluskey
Hmm.
in Sky Hoshi 2, Anime Syndicate Strikes, a wonderful, highly anticipated motion picture from the wonderful folks at Pure Magic Cinema. So we just did the premiere of that at the lovely AMC Theater in undisclosed location somewhere in New York. So that is cool. I'm doing some voiceover stuff now. I
Oh,
spent 26 hours in a vocal booth working on this video game. And I can't, there's all kinds of things, disclosures
right.
around it, but it's something
Hmm.
involving mythology. It's going to be really cool.
Okay.
Um, And I just did a movie called Mall Mayhem where I play a mall cop, believe it or not, who is fat, stupid, slobbish, and farts all the time and shits his pants. So spoiler alert, but
No.
that's coming out, and that was really fun. That was with this cool Italian director, and it was like a bunch of teenage kids who are
Hmm.
getting in trouble, and I'm like the Paul Blart type.
Hmm.
So that was really fun because I'm alternating between like yelling at them and being very angry, and then also being like very like weird and goofy. And so I like treading both of those lines. As far as the calendar right now, it's not looking great, man, for February. But then
February.
coming up in March, there's going to be some cool stuff. A couple little commercials. I happen to, I'll be the type that, is like a memorable day player. I try to play like the office weirdo, kind of the comic relief. So I have a couple of things coming up where I try to not steal the scene, but like, I get to show up and do my thing. And also a movie by a prominent late night TV director who's making his directorial debut. And I'm very excited to be in that film. And that's done now. Hopefully, they didn't cut me out of it.
Hmm.
And I will be, they'll be rolling that out this spring, and I'll be yelling that for the mountaintops.
There
That's the
you
thing
go.
about this business too. It's like no matter what you just filmed or what you have coming up, it's like you don't even want to mention it until it's already like edited.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
dude, I've been cut out of the show Broad City.
Oh.
I got cut
Okay.
out of the show Girls. Stuff where I thought, this is the moment. We had a pilot that got picked up by Fuse to do a weekly series with the great Sean Price, and he passed away a week before the table read of
Wow.
that pilot. So, I
Wow.
mean, you never know, man. I was in a show with Lacey Goranson
Mhm.
from Roseanne.
Oh wow.
The year before Roseanne was the number one show on TV again. It was her last year of
Hmm.
not being on a number one show on TV. And then like that's when we worked together. But then like right after we worked together, then she was on the number one show on TV. So it's all,
Wow.
it's all about timing, man.
For sure. Yeah. Time is everything. For sure. No, I would say, man, you got the stories and people you've met, man. I said this might be the most like name drop show, and it's not intentionally, but just stories
That
for days, man. But I got to say this,
yes.
I did enjoy having you on. So for the people watching, how can they find you? How can they get in touch with you if they want to
Well,
find
yes. Send me all the love, all the hate.
both?
And believe me,
Yeah.
I could take it. I've
Yeah.
been called everything under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to keithmackler.com, there's a full website coming, which I'm currently developing during this lovely downtime. But right now, it just goes to my YouTube channel, which has hundreds of clips, all kinds of fun stuff from movies, music videos, commercials, and short films, and just some things I film myself, original sketches and whatnot. I don't do that all that often, but and then on the Instagram at Macklerverse, the whole Keith Mackler universe is there at Macklerverse. I haven't posted on there in a little while just because things going on in this country right now. It just seems the life and career of an up and comer such as myself seems slightly trivial, considering what's going on. But at the same time, I know that I'm inspired by other performers and people that are getting off their ass and doing stuff. And I've been told time and again that people like seeing my social media. They go, he never stops. He's always working. So I want to like also inspire people around me, and just a rising tide lifts all boats. So
There it
definitely
is.
check that out.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure for having you, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
An honor and pleasure. Thank you, sir.
All right.